There we go. Okay, first off, welcome everyone to this exciting holiday party. I love that most of you, actually a lot of you have your cameras on. It's super, super nice to be able to see faces after a year of Zoom calls and seeing a lot of black screens. But I want to start off by asking you guys all to unmute your microphones and to give yourselves a giant round of applause. So if you can, on three. Bravo. You guys did it. You made it through 2021 and 2022. You've made it through 2 years of a pandemic, being entrepreneurs, being youth. And for that, you guys deserve a big, pat on the back, brush the dirt off your shoulder, do whatever you need to do to make yourself feel good, because you guys really killed it this year. On behalf of ITC and the Youth and Trade program, I just want to say that it's been an immense pleasure working with you all this year and seeing how resilient you all are, how much you have dedicated yourself to your work. And it doesn't really seem like the pandemic has even affected you guys. I mean, the more that we talk to you guys, the more that we check in with you, we keep hearing time and time again how you've adapted, how you've changed your strategy, how you've built new networks. And yeah, you guys, you continue to impress us. You continue to impress the team at ITC. And everyone is just, really, really amazed by what you young people around the world, no matter what kind of background you're from, have been able to accomplish. So big shout out to you guys. I hope that you feel that too. I hope that you're all proud of yourselves, because yeah, you guys have really done an amazing job this year. No matter the sector, no matter the country, you've really killed it. So with that, I want to say that, once again, Jenny, on behalf of myself, but Jenny will speak next, it really is the most important thing to us, serving you guys, and you're the part that makes this job worth doing. And I feel like I'm getting emotional right now, but we do this for you guys. And I really hope that, this year you felt you've been supported by ITC and the Yay community. And we look forward to continuing that support in 2022 and beyond. So thank you for giving us your trust. And thank you for, continuing to work with us. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. There we go. And yeah, so I just want to hand it over to Jenny. I think she can share just a few of the amazing milestones that, we've been able to accomplish together, because this community is nothing without you guys. So I will quickly hand over the bat to Jenny before we jump into hearing from our amazing young speakers today. So Jenny, if you just want to cover a couple of those milestones that we've reached this year, a couple of our accomplishments, that would be great.
Yes, I think also there's a bit of background noise, so I don't know if everyone wants to just once more put themselves on mute. Yeah, in the meantime, hi everyone. I think most of you would already know me. So for those of you that don't yet, I'm Jenny and I work with Claire under the Youth and Trade program, and of course for the Yay community, so you probably have seen me around. It's great to see you all here, and I'm especially super excited to hear from some of the community members directly soon. We have a big lineup of them coming up, sharing their experiences directly. So I think that will be super exciting. And in the meantime, I have the pleasure of outlining some of our key milestones this year. And looking back, yeah, as Claire already said, we really achieved a lot together with you, and I really think it's something to be proud of. So the list is long, and I'll start with the first one, which is basically that this year, for the first time in the history of the community, we have connected all of our local Yay chapters to anchor organizations. So formalized that process and basically brought business support organizations like hubs, incubators, accelerators in country who support young entrepreneurs on the ground. We brought them on board. And then we also reshaped and strengthened the role of our Yay advisors, formerly the Yay ambassadors, who are our young leaders on the ground. I know there's some of them on the call here as well who will share their experiences later on. And those also obviously have been driving the community and the chapters, but we really like strengthened and formalized that. And together with the anchors and the advisor, we have rolled out close to 100 local year events, I believe, this year across all of our chapters. So that's very impressive. Then next up, we, of course, some of you will probably remember, we had the big official launch of our new and improved community platform at the ECOSOC Youth Forums, where we connected with other UN agencies and showcased young people also how they can create more impact in their local communities. And with the new platform, we have seen an increase in community members contributing directly to the platform. So, you know, we've seen more articles, more opportunities being posted, a lot of posts on the live feed. So that was really great. And I'm also happy to share that the community members have now passed the threshold of 20,000 members this year. So, and this includes, of course, both online and offline members. So then on top of that, I'm just seeing more people are joining. I'm just letting them in. So yeah, on top of that, we also launched and completed the first edition of the Youth Ecopreneur Awards, which we successfully concluded end of November. We celebrated 9 finalists out of more than 650 green solutions that were submitted to us. So very impressive, and delving a little bit more into that green space. And the winners and finalists are now receiving their prize package and technical support. So this is also really great. And we continue to work on this in the next year as well, on several more editions. So then we have also continued our non-traditional approach to mentorship. So the Coffee Roulette, which I believe a lot of you have been a part of and have leveraged much to the advantage of your businesses. We connected around 150 youth entrepreneurs and mentors for meaningful exchange and collaboration, and have had some great success stories come out of this. And we also launched our entrepreneur masterclasses and our year mentor masterclasses in parallel to this. And then lastly, a lot of you have probably seen this too. We had run 2 surveys this year, gathering extensive data on access to finance issues and other critical challenges and opportunities for youth, specifically during COVID-19, but also beyond that. And as part of this, we collected insights from more than 700 young entrepreneurs this year, all from the community. So we're really, really happy that you have all been so vocal about your needs and have given us so much great insights into your work. Yeah, that was a lot. So I'll hand it back to Claire, and then we will dive into our special guests that we have lined up. Thanks.
Cool. Thanks, Jenny. And yeah, super, super amazing to hear of all the accomplishments this year. I hope you guys also feel like you've been involved and a part of building these achievements, because we've done many of them with you in mind and also in consultation with you. But as we're already running 1 minute behind schedule, and the point of this is to hear from you guys, the community, about all your achievements this year, I'm now going to hand it over to our first amazing youth speaker, who I'm super proud to have actually been able to meet in person while we had a bit of a lull in the pandemic. So Mechi Ama is the founder of Black and Natural Cosmetics and also a certified chartered accountant from Cameroon. So Mechi, I would love for you to come on, speak about your experience in the pandemic. You won our Young African Innovators Challenge and shared an amazing video in 2020 about how you pivoted your business during the pandemic. And because of that experience, you were also then invited to the WTO public forum, where you got to speak alongside high-level delegations. So Mechi, if you're here, which I saw you earlier, so I hope you haven't been accidentally kicked out, I'd love to have you come online and share your story.
Okay, I'm here.
Go ahead.
Hello, Claire. Good to see you again. Hello, Jenny, and hello, everybody. I don't know if you can hear me clearly.
Okay. Loud and clear.
Proceed. All right. So it's been an amazing year. It's been full of opportunities and various challenges. It has its ups, it has its downs. So I'll just go straight to the point. as to why I became an entrepreneur. First, I am Mechi Ama, and I am the founder of Black and Natural Cosmetics, a natural hair product manufacturing company here in Bamenda in Cameroon. So what prompted me to get into entrepreneurship was my mom. My dad passed at a very young age when were very many of us at home and many mouths to feed. So my mom had to get herself into extra jobs, extra other jobs, so that we could earn more. As such, we started keeping livestock. We kept poultry and we had pigs. So I always fed the pigs, and she'd be like, Mechi, feed these pigs well because I will sell them to send you to school. And after successfully feeding them, by the end of the year, she's going to probably buy me a new pair of shoes as a reward for the hard work. So when I went to the university in another city, not doing business was kind of difficult. I felt like the allowance I was living on was very little. So I had to start doing extracurricular activities to get more income. So I used my school fees. I will use my school fees and buy shoes and sell, buy accessories and sell. Then when I double the profits, I invest, I pay my school fees. So they're always sending me out for school fees. But it was an amazing experience. Who knew that was pathway to becoming an entrepreneur? The moment I graduated from school, I started Black and Natural pathway while I was in school and after I completed school. And so far, it's what's been helping me, and I've impacted a lot of other lives too in my community as I help train young girls with skills, and I've equally employed a lot of people in my community, which I consider that as an achievement. It's been a very challenging year for me and my business, aside COVID, because there is this English crisis currently going on in my community, which is devastating. The last couple of months has been hell, you know, having to dodge bullets, having to produce and having to sell. But now, thank God that I try to venture into in a way that I can sell in other regions. So the major challenge I have faced this year has been the crisis that has really hit my region, the political crisis. So it has hindered a lot of movement, and it has encouraged a lot of immigration for young people. As such, when I produce now my products, I have to sell them out of towns in unaffected regions. So that's what I do to stay afloat. So I am an entrepreneur who has been through a lot, through thick and thin. And I know there are many young entrepreneurs who have started their own ventures, and it's not been easy. It may be due to COVID, it may be due to lack of finances, it may be due to inadequate knowledge or not knowing how to venture into the market, and whatever the case might be, persevere. Perseverance is the first key, and learn to talk to people, because don't die in silence. Sometimes talking is the first therapy. And then secondly, seeking for help, joining the YEH community. The YEH platform is an amazing platform with the master classes and meeting you and other entrepreneurs. It's really an amazing job, especially when you get to find one entrepreneur who you guys face similar challenges. We can share from each other's challenges and how we get out of it. For example, now I'm encouraging other entrepreneurs in my community to diversify. Equally, another challenge I've experienced is the fact that with this crisis, most of my two of my workers resigned, which really affected the performance of my business. And as such, it really affected. As such, I had to start. Thank God that I had trained other girls. I had to go into the pool of young girls I had trained, and I hired two. Well, it's been a little shaky, you know, getting a new worker and trying to. But we thank God though, all the same. So YEH community has, it's since 2020, YEH community has been a blessing in my life. Having to collaborate with other entrepreneurs, having to have one-on-one sessions with mentors, it's really been an amazing experience. So I want to just tell Claire and everyone, thank you very much for this amazing opportunity.
Thanks, Mechi, and thanks for taking the time. I appreciate it. I think someone maybe has their mic unmuted. I hear some background noise. Oh, very very loud. Perfect. Okay, that's better. So thanks, Mechi. And yeah, I mean, your story is really incredible. You've really been able to pivot your business and, you know, do whatever it's taken, and also adapted to support and better serve your community and to teach others what you've learned. And I think that's really in the spirit of this community, is giving back and supporting other young people. So thanks for those words, Mechi. So next up, we have the YEI advisor to ITC for Malawi and the founder of Awawa Eco, that makes goods out of bamboo and is contributing to the sustainable development of Malawi. So Precious, we'd love to hear from you about how your business has adapted and changed in the face of COVID. What have been some of the hardships and the setbacks, but also the successes? And yeah, if you could, of course, share, you know, how the YEI community has been a part of that journey. Thanks.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Freya and Jenny. It's Lenny here in Lilongwe, so excuse me for the length background there. But I'll try to be quick as possible. I was with Maggie. We were talking with Amma. Can you hear me?
There's some background noise, but I can't tell if it's just the rain behind you or if it's something else, but go ahead.
All right. I was talking with, I was in the same panel with Maggie Amma. That was last month. It's good hearing from you again. So my name is Precious Zipili. I am an entrepreneur, an entrepreneur in Lilongwe, Malawi. I own a startup called Awao. Awao is a startup that seeks to offer sustainable alternatives to single-use plastic products. We make all our products from bamboo. We make reusable from furniture, household photos, the packaging from bamboo. I'd like to say a few things here. In my presentation, I was asked to speak about what made you become an entrepreneur. So for me, it was mandatory to become an entrepreneur. When I was going to college, I told my father, after this program, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. And immediately after I came back from college, I started work. And in the next 6 months, I resigned to start my business. So it has always been in me. I just went to work. I just went to cover it to learn a few things and came back to start the setup. So it has always been about the creative freedom for me. I don't know if you can hear me.
It's a bit difficult. Maybe if you can just hold the mic up closer to your mouth, just because there is a bit of background noise.
Can you hear me now?
That's better. Yes.
All right, thank you. So for me, entrepreneurship has always been the creative freedom. I've always creative. In business school, in finance school, I've always been creative. I've always done things that amaze people. And going back to entrepreneurship, for me to have that creative edge, to show the creative freedom, the financial freedom as well. And I also want to do the legacy. That's something that I've also considered. We have had opportunities and challenges this year. Challenges in terms of the COVID was here, and it has badly affected businesses, a lot of businesses, especially my business in 2020 and 2021. Especially at the start of 2021, we were badly affected because the market was split from the one that we used to have in 2019 November when I was starting. So in the last 6 months this year, we've made tremendous progress. One has been because of my self motivation, strong belief in the idea, and I also had to pivot in terms of digital marketing, the strategy, the company strategy, as well as the distribution strategy and the culture. We had to pivot in all these things. so that we can speak to the market, we can grab the market that is there. So these are some of the things that may be whether the strong, self-motivation, strong belief, as well as people. I'll go into my message to the youth. My message to the youth is clear. Plan, I plan. You test the product. You also talk about it. I've always talked about my product, even when we could stay 2 weeks without sales. I could always talk about my product. And this particularly helped because in the last 6 months, I met this lady who said, wow, I saw you posting about your product. And I'd like to buy equity in your company. So we secured around $10,000 in investment. Just because I kept talking about it, I kept believing about the idea. And the other thing, which is more important, is action. Action brings about strategy. So we must always be sure about what we are doing by putting in action, and it is linked to strategy. Thank you. My time is up. But thank you, Claire.
Oh, sorry. No, continue. You had 1 more minute.
Okay, so let me just finish about how has CBI created a law in your journey. So I've had learning such as the business tax, what are taxes for example, we have came in to teach us about this with fellow entrepreneurs in Malawi. I've also taken advantage of the SME Trade Academy courses that EA Community provides and ITC. Networking, I always talk to people in here. For example, for the we always talk about our businesses, selling ideas. This has also helped me to position as well as grab the investment placement program that I always have.
Thanks, Precious. And just because the rain was cutting in the background, I would love if you could maybe type some of those suggestions to the youth in the chat, because they were really important and we really want to make sure everyone takes those home and doesn't miss out on your amazing insight. So if you want to, feel free to type in the chat to reiterate some of those points. So our next person speaking today is Antonio Duarte, who is the Business Development Manager at OneStream. And he is also a Yay community mentor who has mentored countless young entrepreneurs through the platform, but he's also played a really important role in supporting Jenny and I to actually understand how we can better connect Yay community members to mentors. So his advice has been really helpful to both the community and to young entrepreneurs. So Antonio, I'd love for you to come online now and yeah, share your story with everyone today.
Yeah, thanks, Claire. I have so many things to say that is difficult to choose one. You know, I will start with I'm proud of all of you, not only the mentees that I had during the year, but all of you that are entrepreneurs. I think the society, whatever you live, makes you assume that being entrepreneur is easy, that everyone is going to get that million check, million euros, dollars, whatever check, and it's not. It's a pain in the ass. Sorry for the words. It's difficult. Your friends don't believe it sometimes. Your family don't believe it. Sometimes, or many times, or most of the times, you are alone in this world. So I'm very proud of you, and I'm very proud that you are doing this because with your idea, with your company, with your community, you are changing not only locally, but maybe you're changing the world as well for a better world. So I want to start with this. Then I want to continue with say thanks to Claire and Jenny for all the good work that they are doing through the year. It's not easy to manage the community and try to do new things and try to have people involved. So Claire and Jenny, thanks so much for being here and doing this kind of things. Then going through all the things that the community is doing, it's amazing to see, you know, like from 100 offline and 100 local events. Yay platform just went out this year. coffee relate, masterclass, webinars, more information about marketing, finance, etc. So if you are not there, just be there, be more there. If you see that other entrepreneurs that are with difficulties, just advise them to be in the EA community, because there is plenty of entrepreneurs like you or mentors like me that can help with the word, guidance, etc. Then a story that I see a lot of people that I talk during the year. Eden, Tether, Maxwell, I think a couple of you here if I go around. So I'm very happy to see that you guys, like bring a challenge, bring something that you want to solve. And with sometimes I think I do nothing. So I'm just there because you guys figured out the solution. You guys figured out how it works. You guys figured out how you should be. And I'm very happy to see you here and very happy for you to go through this tough year for all of us. So I was mentoring a gentleman in the beginning of the year, and like I have my meetings, I have my mentoring sessions. So I go to the hour, and that hour of mentoring, and I have a conversation, I help, and I go to my life. I have business, I have other things to do. So sometimes I kind of, okay, that's your life, this is my life. And one day this gentleman was in the webinar or a masterclass that we organized, and he was talking about how, in this case myself, but how a mentor changes life for better. How he, after 3 sessions with the mentor, he could direct a little bit better his business to a better managing his time, manage how to get more customers, etc. So it's not only me, because there is a couple of mentors in the platform, but this story, it's I'm very grateful to hear this, and I'm very grateful that we have a platform that we can help each other to build a dream, to build your dream, and have success. So many things to say, and sometimes with so little time, but I think I cover all, Claire and Jenny. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks, Antonio, and thanks for taking the time to be here today. I know that you are on holiday, so that really shows how much this community means to you. And yeah, I know there's quite a few people that you've mentored here today. The mentors are definitely an incredibly important part of this community, and people that we're trying to cultivate more in the future to see how we better connect entrepreneurs and mentors. So really appreciate you being here today and taking the time. And if you guys have any questions for Antonio or any of the speakers, also feel free to post those questions in the chat as we go. So our next amazing speaker is Eliud Lutza, and he is the founding partner at Centrafrique Consulting, and he's also a research and data enthusiast who's passionate about social impact. He's also a member of the Yay community in Kenya, where he's become somewhat of a super connector, working very closely with the Yay advisor to ITC for Kenya, Ifra Arab. So Eliud, if you'd like to come on board and share a little bit about why you're doing what you're doing, how you've handled COVID-19, and then also as well, because you're a newer member to the Yay community, how you've got involved and how you felt the community has supported you through this year.
Okay, thank you so much, Claire and Jenny. I hope you can hear me. Yes.
Good.
Okay, thank you. So as you said, I'm Eliud Lutza. I'm a co-founder at Centrafrique Consulting. I'm also working at Heroes for Change as an experienced and digital manager, and super excited that I've been able to work, especially on the Yay community as a mentor, and connected with very great young entrepreneurs around the continent. So let me just dive into it. So you may ask, why entrepreneurship for me? So I became an entrepreneur because I saw an opportunity to make a difference in my community, by creating solutions to existing problems that I could see. So my journey actually began with a product design competition in 2017 when I was in my 3rd year of study. So I had this revolutionary product idea, and so had 50 other participants. But however, at the end of the day, only the top 3 ideas were taken up by the sponsoring organization. So I and 48 others did not actually make it to the top 3. Though we knew our ideas were not bad, of course, but we believe they simply didn't match the interest of the sponsoring organization. And that was definitely okay. So I therefore convinced the 48 losers in quotes, because that's how we were being called at that time, to join some sort of a think tank where we offered each other peer-to-peer mentorship to just better our individual ideas and make them market ready. So after about 6 months of building and bettering our ideas, it was time to test them in a real market. And so that's when an idea came to me to create a platform that could actually connect these student sellers with student buyers. This was way back in campus. So 4 of us came together. So myself with a background in financial engineering and a huge passion for research, and the others from computer science. There was one from communication and another one from actuarial science fields. So we created an e-commerce app or platform with the over 50,000 student population as our target market. And of course, this app did well, especially in terms of uptake. However, months later, we realized that the business owners, especially that were in the platform, needed more than just a platform to sell their products. So they needed something like a business plan, others needed a business model, and even expert advice on establishing and running their businesses. And that's when Centafric Consulting was born, while I was in my final year of study in university. So after graduating in 2019, of course, we registered Centafric Consulting as a full-fledged consulting company with a focus on the Kenyan market, but with partnerships and collaborations across Africa. So where we provide tailor-made business growth solutions around enterprise development, advisory, fundraising, research and data, IT and digital systems, as well as capacity development. So while working with budding entrepreneurs and fresh graduates, I developed this interest for social impact. So I therefore accepted an offer to join Heroes for Change, which is a social enterprise that addresses the youth unemployment problem in Kenya. We do this by bridging the skills and experience gap of young people who are transitioning from school to the job market. So we do this by partnering with social conscious organizations and brands, where the young people that we call heroes come on board to deliver the social impact interventions of these organizations to their communities, while unlocking employment opportunities from the organizations at the end of the program. So personally, I strongly believe that entrepreneurship is the only, or actually the number one solution to the unemployment problem, especially in Africa. But and just beyond that, it's also the best way for people, and especially the youth, to get involved in creating solutions to problems in the society. So entrepreneurship has defined my career path and given me the opportunity to put the skills I learned in school into practice, while contributing to building a society I would love to be part of. So you'll agree with me that the COVID pandemic has been a major storm this year. Well, allow me to share some of the things we had to do just to weather the storm. So the first thing I had to do at Centafric Consulting was making sure that we keep an open mind and being flexible and adaptable. And probably this is something we'll also do in your different businesses. So at Centafric Consulting, we believe there is no one size fits all kind of a solution. So we invested in research and continuous learning and embraced transformation and change whenever it was necessary, so that to avoid being irrelevant or worse still, sometimes existing in a world where your consumers do not really want to live anymore. We also adopted a remote and hybrid working kind of a system. So, there was movement restrictions imposed by the government, so which necessitated this remote and hybrid working. But at the end of the day, this flexibility in the working environment not only saved on cost, but also actually increased our productivity significantly. I think the other thing I would say that we adopted was we really leveraged on digital systems. So we first developed a digital strategy that helped us to build a strong digital presence and moved most of the physical capacity building sessions we do online. Of course, I think this is also the most important thing I would say. We also built meaningful partnerships and collaborations with like-minded industry players. So this helped us to access especially different markets and service our customers more conveniently, despite the restrictions that existed. So to the youth who, you might be feeling worn down, I say to you, worry less and hope more. And I'm just not talking about blind optimism here. This is real hope. I will tell you why I'm super excited about the future of entrepreneurship, especially in Africa. So I'm using Africa as an example, because again, that's where I exist. So I believe it has never been the best time to do business in Africa because of this couple of risky resources that are available that will really drive business success in the coming year if you take advantage of them. And so I'm a researcher, so I'll give you some of the findings that have come from a research that we did recently. So one thing I've noticed, and this is borrowing from Kenya, is that there is really improved infrastructure and internet connectivity in Africa. So using Kenya as an example, is an interesting statistic from a recent research, which show that 98% of Kenyans over the age of 15 own a mobile SIM card. And another statistic says 65% of Kenyans have access to the internet, and actually 52% of Kenyans own a smartphone, and 4% of them also use mobile money. So this represents a really vibrant market for digital products that young entrepreneurs in Kenya and I think the same cases in Africa to really take advantage of this. I also believe there's availability of human resources. Africa is full of this energetic, youthful population. So using Kenya as an example again, 3 in 5 Kenyans are under the age of 30. So this not only represents a really vibrant market, but also a rare talent, ready to innovate and disrupt the business space. I also believe there's availability of financial resources. It has never been easier to access the different forms of financing, be it debt, equity, or grants. There's been a steady increase in the number of capital providers, including foundations, angel and impact investors who are really ready to fund businesses. And of course, if you're in Kenya and even around Africa, East Africa Consulting can help you access these funders and even help you prepare a proposal and a pitch deck that would make sure that you land funds. There also increased access to information. Of course, this has been made possible by the internet. And so you're able to access information, research findings and business insights way easier. And it's now very much possible to do that. So of course, you can also tap into it to make the best business decisions going forward. I think the last thing
yes. If you can just wrap up because we're over time a bit. So just the last point, please.
Okay, thank you. So as I close, let me just say, the YEA community has been at the center of my personal and business growth this year. So one, I got the chance to mentor young entrepreneurs across Africa from Kenya all the way to Zambia. Also unlocked upskilling opportunities from webinars, masterclasses, and the online courses they provide. And of course, finally, I got to network and connect with like-minded entrepreneurs from the Kenyan chapter, where we share stories, failures, successes, as well as opportunities. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Eliud. Wow, that was packed with a lot of insight, and we can definitely tell that your research and data from that presentation. So thank you for really all the work that you put into that. I hope that others are inspired and can take a lot of those key points away and into their own work. So thank you for that intervention. So moving on to our next speaker, who is calling in from Botswana, we have Lesego Ellen Moselheng, who is the founder of Portigem, which provides organic herbs and vegetables to restaurants, households, and retail shops. Lesego is passionate about business development and agriculture, and previously she worked with the local enterprise authority, which supports small and medium enterprises in Botswana, and she's currently getting her master's degree in development practice from the University of Botswana. So Lesego, over to you. We'd love to hear about your journey today, how you've been involved in the YEA community, why entrepreneurship, and what are the kind of pivots or adaptations that you've done in the face of this pandemic.
Hello, everybody. Am I audible?
Yes, you're great.
Oh, okay. Yes, my name is Lesego Moselheng, as it's just been mentioned. And I'd just like to tell you a story of how I became an entrepreneur. For me, I like to believe that entrepreneurship has really been like a part of me since I was pretty young, because my dad is a vendor. So he would go to farms like in South Africa and stock up on fruits and vegetables, and he would come and sell by the roadside, right? So I remember vividly asking him for money to go for a trade show. Like everybody went, like every child went to that for the slides and fun activities. So you can imagine that it was fun. So at one point he was like, I don't have money to give you, but I have like a bag of oranges and I could teach you how to exchange this for money, basically how to sell these oranges and exchange them for money, how to make money, because you need to learn how to make money as young as you are. So it's always been that way, even just growing up has been engraved in me really. And I also got the opportunity to work for Local Enterprise Authority, for the Local Enterprise Authority, and that is an entrepreneurship development organization here. And it really gave me a lot of exposure, afforded me the platform to meet all sorts of people. So from serial entrepreneurs to investors and government people and all the like. So it's all from these experiences that I just decided that entrepreneurship is really the way that I ought to go even after the corporate job. So in terms of like this year, we all know how difficult these past 2 years have really been. And I realized, these 2 years have made me realize the importance of creating systems in businesses. And it does not matter how small your business is, you need to create systems as small as it is. And that it made me realize that I actually tend to work in the business and not on the business. And that is something that is very, very important. So this meant that I had to take time to reflect and to see what is working and what isn't. And then I realized that there was a time I had like a high supply of fresh herbs, and I had to find a way of actually preserving them. And this led to me finding ways of drying them, selling them when they're dried, and things like that. So, which I'd like to say this required innovation to some degree, or ideas or research really. And that actually birthed that part as well. So with lockdowns and everything, we also had to consider delivery services, things which originally we didn't have as the part of the plan. So I like to think that this is actually what we call business continuity plan. So even as small as our businesses may be, or however big they may be, these are things that we always have to have even when starting out. So to the youth who are really feeling the weather of the storm, I'd like to really say that, sometimes as entrepreneurs, we tend to want to do things on our own. Like we just want to do every single thing. And it's normal, given that we'll find that we don't have money to pay people for the kind of services that we need. And I've learned that, having friends or networks or connections, forming connections, with people who do different things from you, that is very important, because you can actually get to a point where you can barter your services. Just tell your friend, you know what, let me do this, and you give me that service in return. Because it's very, very imperative, like for you to have these networks and formulate these business agreements, so to say. So basically what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to highlight the importance of having a team, right? Or just being in a value-adding network, because that's another thing, right? So another thing I'd just like to say, it's very important for us to take a break. Honestly, just take a break, learn to rest. As entrepreneurs, we don't even have time to rest. Please, if you're feeling worn out, learn to rest and take care of yourselves mentally, emotionally, because this journey can be very difficult, as well as physically. And also, let's never stop learning and just find new ways and different ways to diversify our products, because you never would know what it might lead to. So I also like to talk about how the Yay community played a role in this journey of mine. It's very funny how I've always wanted to be part of this community. And I remember knowing about it, and I realized that they don't have a chapter here. And I was like, what? Okay, but I'll wait. And then I saw they were doing a needs assessment survey here, and I was elated. I was so happy. And when it came here, I made sure that I joined it spot on. So it's upon joining this community that I realized that I had so much work to do on my business. It really, really opened my eyes from the different things we were doing, such as the business canvas model. It made me realize, wow, I really, really have a long way to go in working on my business. And we had different speakers and just people teaching us on different ways. I remember there was a particular speaker teaching us about conducting our marketing research. And that was amazing because from that I learned that, you know, there are times where you need to leave your comfort zone. And this, for me, this meant work like knocking on retail stores on some, I have this product, can you please have it on your shelves, and just getting amazing advice from all those speakers as well. So being an active participant allowed me to meet, it afforded us the platform to meet with these people that we won't normally meet with on a daily basis, or maybe you wouldn't just have access to. So we met serial investors and angel investors who you wouldn't have normally have access to, and got to ask questions on how to improve our business. And for that, I'll forever be grateful to the YEE community. And as for the website, I've been learning so much about what others are doing and learning from their experiences as well. So with that, I'd like to say thank you.
Amazing. Thank you, Lesejo. And some super deep insights there, very prophetic about systems and working in your business, not on your business. So thank you for your candid response and for sharing how this community has been a part of your journey. And glad to know that you've been learning through being a part of the platform and connecting, as well as through participating in the YEE Botswana activities. That's really great to hear. So thank you for your insights. And now we'll be moving to our next speaker, who is calling in today from Uganda. His name is Julius Odida, and Julius has been a part of the community for quite some time now. I know Julius because Julius is very persistent and very proactive, and I can honestly say that he might have the most mentors on the entire platform. I think he has so far got about 6 or 7 YEE community mentors, all working with him in different ways. So if you want guidance on how to work with a mentor on YEE community, Julius is your guy because he really knows what he's doing at this point. So very honored to introduce Julius, who is a student at Makerere University, which is one of the top universities in Uganda, and he's part of the business school there. And he is the founder of the Youth Initiative for Economic Transformation, or YEET, and he runs 3 programs under YEET on financial literacy, foundational skills, and leadership skills. And I also know that he's been working extensively on women's empowerment as well, and empowering young women and girls with knowledge about menstruation, which is very important. So Julius, we'd love to have you chime in at this point and talk a little bit.
Yeah, thank you so much. Let me confirm.
Julius, the quality isn't very good, so I might ask if you can turn off your video, and it might help the connection a bit. Okay, please go ahead.
All right. Can you hear me?
It's so, but keep going and let's hope it gets better.
Okay, so let me move on. Thank you so much, Claire. I send my shout out to everyone here at their different capacities. I'm so glad to be part of you this afternoon from Uganda and the different time zones wherever you are. My name is Julius Odida. I am the founder of Youth Initiative for Economic Transformation that Claire has just introduced. Let me go straight to the point. Number 1, YEET Initiative runs 3 programs: leadership skills, foundational skills, and financial literacy. We are located here in Uganda, and we are doing amazing jobs here and there, which I will take you through. Why did I become an entrepreneur? I became an entrepreneur simply because of, number 1, the will to serve the society where I live. That is actually a major reason why I became an entrepreneur. To me, I felt I could best serve the community where I live if I become an entrepreneur in Uganda. So, and as a result, I was in the dilemma of how do I serve my community, which is my major agenda, and then how do I also benefit from that? So, serving the community, which is also my other alternative, I call sexual reproductive health bit of this initiative, such that the young ladies can be trained on making reusable menstrual pads for their own benefits. We all very well know that most percentage of Ugandan ladies live, or Ugandans in general live in less than $1 per day. So that means affording a menstrual pad is actually something that is a daydream, if we might say. So I had to put that as the social bit of it to society. Now, how did I bring in the income bit of it? The income bit of it came in such a way that I decided to set up youth into VSLA. So when they set up their VSLA, they have a percentage that they contribute to Yet initiative that has empowered them and training them on how to do savings, on how, and then keeping monitoring them on the weekly savings, how to keep the record books, etc. So that is now the business bit of it. Now, as we're all aware that the social bit of
Julius, the sound quality is really bad. Is there any chance you can get any better network? Because it's starting to get bad.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, that's good.
All right, thank you. So I had to balance between the social responsibility that is assisting Ugandans over here and then business. So you're all aware that the social bit or the non-for-profit bit of any entity requires funding. So that was when I had to make good use of the mentors that the Yei community linked me up or paired me up to. And some of them are here. We have Bhavna Saraf. There is Philip Steinbach. There is Hamida. I'm wondering if she has joined in. There is Karuna Luther. They are all here. They are really very many. Eden. Yeah, so I had to make use of them. Just like they say, if there is an opportunity for you to your own progress of a business, please go ahead and utilize it. So how did I make use of these mentors? Because they are all at different locations, but I believe each of them are capable of having an idea that can be of benefit to Yet initiative. So we had to form ourselves into a board, and they became advisors. And as a result, we've done so many things with them. As I talk now, we have a fundraising, a crowdfunding website. I'll just put it here in the side, in the chat.
Julius, you're muted.
Yeah, so we have a crowdfunding website where you can be able to donate. I've just shared the link on the platform there. So this has all been the idea of these mentors, yeah? So for me, I had to make use of them, not only to just get ideas from them, but to make use of them so that they can be able to help me achieve the dream of transforming the society livelihoods of people over here. So this brings me to the contribution of Yei community. So all this has been Yei community, because without Yei community, I wouldn't have known these people and I wouldn't have gone this far. So you can imagine you have contacts all over the continent, and that is really so amazing, and I'm forever so grateful. So to me, I say the Yei community is just home for me. It is where I run to wherever I have anything lacking. So I'm really so proud of the Yei community, and as you can see from the reactions from the chat there, it shows that we are really doing an amazing job over here in Uganda, and it's really of great hope that we shall move to greater heights. COVID-19 has really been a great challenge to us, and balancing this whole initiative with studying has not been easy, because I had to ensure that the activities are running, and at the same time, I am studying at school and also performing very well. So that has been a very big challenge, but I'm glad I am managing because I'm in my final year. I'll be finishing by Feb, and after finishing by Feb, I will go concentrate more to ensure that I lift this initiative to a greater height. My message to the youth there, I just have a few, just only 2 quotes to make to the youth out there. Utilize every opportunity you have to develop what is around you. That is the first one. The second one, trust is key. Always be trustworthy in all you do. The rest will come automatically. These mentors trusted me because I always spoke to them the truth. That was it. Then work hard, but smart until you realize results, no matter how many times you fail. Not that everything has been smooth at Yet Initiative. At some point, we've been having challenges here and there, but we managed to move through and maneuver through them. And I know with time we shall move on and be successful in all we shall do. I thank you all. I believe my time is up. It's been an opportunity and pleasure to speak here. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Julius. So I'm going to take over because, like Claire said, she unfortunately had to leave for another urgent call at 3. But of course, we have a few more speakers and a few other exciting things, and we also love to hear from other people on the call. So yeah, for now, I'm going to introduce our next special guest, who is Federico Perez. He is the year advisor to ITC for Colombia. So he is a young entrepreneur and the founder of Platinum Capital. And he was also one of our speakers at our session at the UNCTAD Youth Forum this year that we did on ecosystems. And he's really been instrumental in driving this creation of the chapter in Colombia, our first chapter in Latin America. So we're really happy to, strive for more representation across other geographical areas. So thanks, Federico, for driving this again. And yeah, looking forward to hearing from you. You have 5 minutes.
Okay, good morning, everyone from Colombia. Yeah, I am Federico Perez, as Jenny just said. And first, I want to begin thanking Claire, Jenny, Saskia, and the whole Youth and Trade Program team for building this incredible community. I appreciate the warm welcome and support my fellow advisors have been giving since joining the community this year. But starting with the topic, I became an entrepreneur, and I've been an entrepreneur since I was a kid, having various experiences selling, trading things, ideating new business models. In addition, my family has, I've been absorbing from my family the values related to cooperativism, helping marginalized communities, and making an impact in this world for it to be a better place. So when introspecting, I hold that Stoic philosophy, striving to hone my virtues and character while worrying about what's in my control. Therefore, it's really related to being an entrepreneur and doing whatever you can and being determined to reach your goals. And after having the opportunity to study and work abroad, I decided to come back to Colombia and start my own business. So we are an international trade company determined to empower underserved communities through global value chain integration. So our regular business model consists on wholesale commodity exports and supply chain management services. However, during my experience in the industry, I found a misalignment with farmers in rural communities of Colombia, as they cannot internationalize and generate value added to the economy. So there are nodes in the supply chain with lower margins, and usually the individual that earns less in the whole supply chain is the farmer. So we're striving to create this platform as a development vehicle to empower farmers directly by mitigating price transmission and power asymmetries. So it can be as simple as impacting thousands of people through their exporting their products. So I realized that, and that's why we're working hard towards achieving this goal. And afterward, you can progressively educate, train, and bolster their entrepreneurial endeavors to accelerate social mobility and economic growth. Because as in Colombia and other emerging countries, there's huge income inequalities. And eventually, when you find a successful model, you can systematically scale it across other countries, and they can reach the known leapfrogging process. So as you know, we're in the international trade business, and a lot of our processes got stalled due to the pandemic. Therefore, we were forced to adapt and innovate into new business models. So we created a new tech product, we raised funds, and eventually you have to integrate into the new digital economy. My messaging to the other youth that might be affected by this whole contingency is that you have to be perseverant, resilient, and optimistic. Like we all have been through these uncertain times, and adaptation it makes us be better. And you have to learn from failure, because of course you're going to try a lot of things in life, but not everything is going to be as you think it is, and you're not going to be successful. So if you can learn from failure and apply that in your future endeavors, I do believe that that's where you can maybe climb the ladder and reach your goals. And finally, through the year, I've been able to connect with global youth entrepreneurs in the YET platform, and also get into an acceleration program. So for example, I entered the Westerwelle Foundation based in Berlin, Germany. I entered the Young Founders Program through a nomination from YET. And in addition, I've been able to connect with multiple farmers and contacts in Africa, because I'm not only trying to help like Colombian farmers, but also maybe through this African connections made through the YET platform, I've been able to impact other regions. So what comes next is that I will building this new chapter in Colombia with the YET community, with ProColombia. And as Jenny said, this is the first one in Latin America, and hopefully we're going to be a successful case study into expanding this new community and impacting thousands of people.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, Federico. It's really great to hear, you know, how many like dots we were able to connect this year, and also that's true. The Westerwelle Young Founders Program. Making that connection with our partners was also a great addition to all the other work we've done. Last but not least, it's my pleasure to introduce to you Eden Tadez, who is our last special guest from the community for today. So Eden is an award-winning journalist, social entrepreneur, digital innovator, and human rights activist from Ethiopia. She is the founder and CEO of Invicta, which is an award-winning social impact platform that connects refugees and internally displaced youth with courses, skills, training, and job opportunities online. And as a global citizen, she also strives to empower youth to cultivate their skills, develop successful habits, and unlock their inner potential. And her professional experience spans across social innovation, education, sustainable economic development, women empowerment, and leadership. And Eden is also an African Union Youth Innovator, a fellow at Girl Rising, and a global youth ambassador for Their World. Eden, thanks so much for coming online, and I believe you have a lot to share, also specifically with regards to our partners of the Youth Ecopreneur Awards, Ambitious Africa. So welcome, and take it away.
Thank you so much, Jenny, and thank you to the rest of you who have attended today's session. It's an honor for me to be part of this event. Yeah, so as Jenny mentioned, my name is Eden, and I'm originally from Ethiopia. I'm a 25-year-old social entrepreneur, journalist, activist. And so why did I become an entrepreneur? Well, I actually became an entrepreneur a few years ago, but I had really strong entrepreneurial traits and ambitions since I was maybe 14 or 15. And I swear to God, if it was legal for a young teenager to legally register a business, then I would have, because I had so many ideas and I had a great network when I was in high school. And I was very active, and I just loved the idea of entrepreneurship. And I really thought that was the right career path for me. But it really turned out that I mean, this dream of mine to become an entrepreneur really worked out when I was in college in India, studying university abroad. And so basically what happened was, in the year of 2016, it was a really horrible year for the world. It was the year of the refugee crisis. 11 million Syrian refugees had fled to Turkey, to Europe, to Africa. It was the year of ISIS. It was the year of Islamophobic attacks. It was just a horrible year for the world. And I was in my dorm room in India, and I was reading about the civil war in South Sudan, where 2 million South Sudanese refugees were fleeing to neighboring countries, including Kenya and Ethiopia, where I'm from. And just hearing the story obviously didn't sit well with me. But furthermore, I was asking myself, why am I studying university abroad when all of this is happening in Africa, and there's something that I could do about it? So I took that inclination to mean that I should go home and do something. So I took a gap year, which almost jeopardized my full scholarship. It was very spontaneous, and I came back home to Ethiopia, and I decided I'm going to work and live in a refugee camp for a year to give any support to refugees that I can. And this didn't mean volunteering with any organization, but starting something on my own. So I met with a young Ethiopian woman who put up the funding to create a learning resource center for refugees. And that was so successful, and it was so amazing. But once the year was up, by the way, that was one of the best years of my life. But once the year was up, I had to go back to India and graduate from my degree in cybersecurity. But again, while I was in college again, in my final year, I got the opportunity to apply for an amazing impact accelerator called Young Sustainable Impact. They are an impact accelerator in Norway. They're a global accelerator, but their headquarters is in Norway. And I applied, and the acceptance rate was like extremely low, but I got in, thankfully. And they matched me with other co-founders, a co-founder from Syria, a co-founder from Spain, and a co-founder from Jamaica. So we were a truly global team. And so we worked remotely online for 6 months, and then we had the opportunity to go to Oslo, where we had to pitch to investors, or we got to meet with the UN as a potential partner. We got to meet with folks at NRC, Norwegian Refugee Council, like the headquarters in Norway. It was just one of the best experiences ever. And that experience was very monumental for me because it taught me what it really means to be an entrepreneur. And it's very tough, but it's very rewarding at the same time. And of course, during that time with the co-founders, we realized that after doing all the market research and talking about our experiences, we realized that we wanted to tackle the refugee crisis. So that's how the business was. That's the inception story, and that's how it came to be. And Invicta now caters to more than 27,000 refugees and internally displaced youth across Africa and the Middle East. So it's grown to become a very huge organization. And of course, you know, an entrepreneur always has that inception story. Like, why did you start this business? It's because of a problem that you saw and a problem that you maybe engaged with. And so this has become my life's calling, and I'm very happy that, that I went through this tumultuous but also very rewarding journey over the past 2 years. This year has been extremely challenging for me, but I would call it the most interesting year of my life. I resigned from the United Nations, which has been my dream organization since I was maybe 6 years old. I was forced out of my home and given a very limited time to find a new place to live. And as many of you have already heard about the civil war in Ethiopia, which has really crippled everybody's ability to work online, to communicate with their families, to do anything. And that war is still going on right now. It's dominating international headlines, but I'm happy to say that it's getting a bit better. And there were many personal challenges that I had that hindered my ability to do any work. So this year was extremely tough for me, but I would say I coped by being resilient, by leaning on important people in my life. I have a strong support network, by getting organized, by holding myself accountable on my goals, which is not easy, but I had to do that at the end, by networking with relevant people who could help scale your business. And then at the end, also celebrating your failures. That's something I learned from a book I was reading, which was something that's really refreshing, because a lot of entrepreneurs see failure as something that's really crushing and heartbreaking, but it doesn't always have to be that way. And my message to other youth is to focus on the needle movers in your business. So find out what helps your business to scale, what helps things to move faster, and then focus on that. Also, that purpose fuels persistence. So if you don't have much purpose or much intent, if you're not very intentional about the work that you're doing, then you won't, have that much persistence. So it's good to be purpose aligned with what you're doing and what you're setting out to achieve, whether it's with yourself or with a team of people. And another quote that really resonates with me is that tough times don't last, but tough people do. So it's not going to be an easy journey. And I can tell you from experience that there will be lots of heartbreaks with partners, with investors, even with co-founders, which for me was the most heartbreaking. And those tough times are not going to last. to be honest. But if you are persistent and determined and you find a way to make things work, then things will always turn out positively. And the community, I was introduced to it about 2 years ago. By an Italian friend of mine in Norway who vouched for its value, and he just said great things about it. So I joined, and since then I've had many amazing mentors on the platform who I've met on the platform who are still supporting my business. Antonio is one of them who spoke earlier. Thank you so much, Antonio, for your support. And there are many opportunities on the Yay platform, which you should check out and utilize. Many events as well, and you hear about all these things through the newsletter, which I strongly urge you to subscribe to if you haven't already. A partnership also that we have with ITC, more specifically with RESI, Refugee Skills and Employment Initiative, which is an initiative of the ITC. And also the blog of the Yay community, which is very inspirational. It has many stories of entrepreneurs like myself. So do check that out. And my advice is to update your profile if you haven't already, and to continue doing that regularly. And also to subscribe to their newsletter, as I mentioned. And if you would like Yay community to start an initiative or to consider doing things differently, then do reach out to their team. They're very responsive and they're awesome. And my last thought of today is for all entrepreneurs in the room, is something that my favorite entrepreneur said, which is you wouldn't have the dream unless you already have what it takes to make it happen. So keep that in mind. There's a lot that you can do to make the world a better place. And even if you have nothing right now, just know that there's a lot that you can utilize online and offline. I know we're in a crazy pandemic right now, but seriously, there's a lot of support that you can get to make your dreams a reality. So yeah, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Eden. Such an inspiring story and so many inspiring solutions despite all the hardship you faced this year. Yeah, we had some comments come into the chat as well, which reflect that. So thank you so much for outlining that. And I love the little inspirational quotes that you threw in there as well. And yeah, I think you're a great example. Okay, so that was it for our speaker lineup. I'd like to open the floor now to anyone else who is on this call. I've seen many familiar faces that haven't had the chance to speak yet. I invite you to raise your hands, share, anything that you want to share, really. It can be, a highlight from this year, but also any questions you have or any comments, anything you've observed, any progress you have made this year. We'll be happy to hear it and to reflect on it together with you. So I see the first person has already raised their hand. Maru Paul, would you like to unmute yourself? Thanks for breaking the ice.
Yes, thank you so much, Jenny. I hope I'm so loud and enough for the rest to hear me. Yeah,
yes, we can hear you.
Basically, yes, I'm so happy to be part of this community today. I am basically from South Sudan, and I believe South Sudan has not been so much into this community. If I'm not mistaken, I might be the first person in this community. I'm of course a youth. I believe most of you know about South Sudan. South Sudan has been in crisis for so long that the youths have not been given the opportunity to explore their potential in entrepreneurship. So basically, I work for an organization called the Organic Farming Advisory Organization. This organization was founded in 2015. That was when we were in school in Uganda. We concentrated in agriculture, because when you look at South Sudan, most of the foods that are in the country are brought from the neighboring countries. It is Uganda and Kenya that most of the eatables are brought from. But when you look at South Sudan, it has the most fertile land for agriculture. So we decided to form a group to concentrate in agriculture. So when we came to South Sudan in 2015, we gathered and we looked at why should the country import food items from outside, yet we have a vast and utilize the land. So we formed a group, we started a farm where we cultivated 5 fedans. We produced the vegetables, maize, but unfortunately in 2016, when there was a serious crisis within the government, people were chased to the refugee camps in Uganda. All these things were left in the bush. So we're in the camp from 2016. Life was not easy. There's no way you can earn something. So as the team, we decided to move to Juba. When we came to Juba in 2017, we sat and we decided to set up this group that we formed. We took an initiative, we registered it as a national organization. So we look at during that time in 2016, 17, security was not okay for people to go and cultivate in their farms. What we did was we adapted into a modern farming method, which we call it urban farming, through a support from our friend from Australia called Kerel. She supported our idea. She sent us some small money to support our activities. We decided to come up with the urban farming idea where we train women on kitchen gardening. The small plots of land that they have within their household, they have to utilize it and put some vegetables, tomatoes, onions to support their nutritional needs. And part of it will be sold to earn something little. So it was from where we started this. Of course, it was not easy to run activities without funding, but we persisted because we know all this will help our communities. We continued our activities voluntarily until 2019, when TDH, one of the international organizations, looked into our ideas and they were so happy about it. They gave us a grant for 3 months. That was like $5,000. We carried out some activities in the poultry sector where we got some beneficiaries. We bought from them goats, chicken, and rabbits. We gave to them, we trained them on how to manage it, how to vaccinate them. So when we carried our monitoring in 5 months, we got that this small initiative has helped them a lot. Some of them gave us testimonies that out of what we gave them, they were able to pay school fees for their children. They were able to buy household materials from those produce.
Excuse me,
And,
1 second. I just have to jump in. Do you mind? I'm sorry to ask you. It's super amazing what you're sharing, but I'm just wary of the fact that other people also have their hand up, and we are on a tight schedule. So could you wrap up in the next minute? Is that okay?
Yeah, okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course, it was not easy running activities. We persisted until we got into partnership with Caritas Switzerland that this year, in November, we wrote a project to Austrian Development Organization. They bought our idea and they are able to approve our project. So from next year, January 1st, we got a 3-year project to support the vulnerable communities in South Sudan. And the project is going to be in partnership with one organization in Kenya, one in Uganda, and then Caritas Switzerland in South Sudan, and then the headquarters in Switzerland. So our activities are mainly to support agro-entrepreneurs. Lastly, I am also happy for ITC. Last month, those of Julian were in Juba. They came to conduct a research on agro-entrepreneurship, where they invited us as an organization, Organic Farming Advisory Organization, to support them in the review of the research, which research we reviewed and it was approved. So we'll be happy to see that ITC comes back to South Sudan. Particularly, Julian was with us and we're so happy. We believe that they will still come back and we will have something good for the vulnerable communities in South Sudan. And thanks so much.
Thank you so much. That is so great to hear that you came to the platform and to the community through the project that we have there, that you were able to meet our colleague Julia. I believe some of you already know her as well. She oversees specifically the chapter in the Gambia, but she has also been working on this project in South Sudan. So that's great that, you know, like through these different avenues of our work, we can bring people to the platform. And thanks also for sharing your story, because it's really another story of resilience and another story where you really had to, you know, fight to find the right partners and to find the right people to believe in your project. So thank you very much for that, and happy for you to be part of the community now. Next up, we have Jaya Krishnan, who is also one of our mentors, one of our most cherished mentors of the community, I should say. Really, you've also been the person who has been so active in all of our activities and who has so many mentees. So thank you for that. And happy to hear what you have to share.
Thank you, Jenny. I just want to inform you that the transgender community in India is generally marginalized and they don't get training programs adequately. So in Kerala, a part of a state in India, I am joining hands with a bank, and for the first time, we are giving a financial literacy program for transgenders, for a batch of 20 transgenders, and also helping them, giving them training program on entrepreneurship development. Now, if out of 20, even if one transgender is able to set up a unit, I'll be happy. So I just want to inform the forum that this is an innovative experiment which we are planning to do. Thank you.
That's great. I would invite you to also share more of that if you can on the community. I don't know if you already like posted something on the live feed. Also, if you have any links that you can share now in the chat so people can have a closer look, that would be very great. But thank you for sharing that.
I will.
Perfect. Next, we have Simukonda. Simukonda, do you want to unmute yourself? We cannot hear you yet. Could you unmute yourself? Simukonda? Ooh. Okay, we see you're unmuted now, but we can still not hear you. Do you maybe want to disconnect and come back in a minute? We cannot hear you, unfortunately. Do you have some headphones maybe? Can you hear us? Okay. Okay, I will pass it to Bafna in the meantime. And Simukonda, if you have some headphones, maybe like this, we'll be able to hear you. I will also write in the chat in case you cannot hear us either. Bafna, thanks so much for being here. You're also one of our most cherished mentors, and I know you already messaged in the chat as well about the work you've been doing with Julius, and we're happy to hear more, and also about other entrepreneurs you've supported. And obviously, you know, you've been there for many years, so you've also seen this community transform over the years. So we're very grateful for that.
Yeah, firstly, I wanted to say good afternoon, everyone. And I want to congratulate every founder and entrepreneur on this call who has found the courage to dream and the courage to pursue their dreams. So congratulations. It's not a mean feat. It takes courage to do it. It takes hard work to do it. And you have done it. So you've already taken the first step. And all that we all are trying to do, the mentors and the YE community, you know, is to kind of enable some of your efforts. So, you know, congratulations to all of you for all the success that you've had till date. I also want to take this opportunity to congratulate, you know, Claire, you, Jenny, and everybody who's involved in the YE community and ITC to kind of really support all these efforts. So, you know, great great teamwork all around. I think I'm going to be a little bit cheeky and really fly the Yeet flag here. And I dropped something in the chat as well. And it's really for asking for ideas. You know, we have been funding some of these activities with our own personal money, which we don't mind, but we want to create some more sustainable and scalable avenues. So all that we are asking for is that if there are people on this call who have ideas and can guide us to say, have you thought about this avenue or that avenue, you know, then that is all we are asking for. You know, we've created a website through a donating fundraising website. So, you know, we would welcome any sort of donations you may want to make, but more than the money, we just want ideas, because sometimes, you know, we're trying to bridge the gap between having a sort of a charity in Uganda, but our network ourselves is in the sort of in the developed world, right? And we just don't know how to connect the two, because our network is all in sort of Europe, in US, etc. But we're just trying to see, you know, how do we connect the bridge between, you know, raising money for a charity in Uganda. So we're just asking for ideas. If you have any, you can either drop us a line in the chat, send it to Claire or Jenny, and they can forward it to us. But we're just looking for ideas at this moment, you know, about how we can raise money. And we don't mind the amounts of the money, even $1 helps. You know, if everybody gives just $1, that in itself would pay for 1 month's sort of expenses for the work that we're doing. So just looking for ideas. That's all. If you have any ideas, just please throw it. But thank you very much. It's a really honor and privilege to be part of this effort. And, you know, I just wanted to say congratulations and to everybody who's on the call and being part of this community.
Thank you so much. Such a great idea to crowd source, you know, ideas from the community. I think that's what it's there for. And I'm sure, you know, amongst the 20,000 plus members that we have, I'm sure there's some really, really innovative ideas that can come from that. So yes, like Bhavna said, you should reach out to her. I believe her contact's already in the chat, but you can also find her on the platform as usual. So yeah, any of you with any creative ideas, please reach out. We're almost on time already, actually. So I will now hand it back to Claire, who has come back from her other call, and she has an exciting new concept to share with you. I think you're all going to like it, since yeah, everyone who is on this call, so many familiar faces that I know have been connecting the network this year. So this will be something for you.
Thanks, Jenny. So I'm going to be really brief because I know we're over time, but I'm going to quickly share my screen, and then I want to give a shout out to say don't leave, because after this we will take a group photo, and it will be your loss if you're not in our amazing group photo, which will go out on social media. So don't leave just yet. I hope you can all see my screen. So I'm just going to share with you guys, this is our new concept, which we wanted to share with you all because we believe you all have amazing knowledge to share. You're way more tuned in and you have way more access to a lot of what's happening in your environment. And we want to really encourage and empower you to act to make this community the best that it can be. So we'd love to invite many of you on this call, if you are interested, to take part in our new initiative called the Yay Network Champions, who will help Jenny, myself, and the entire Youth and Trade team to create a better functioning community, which is more peer-driven. So what is a Yay Champion? A Yay Champion helps to build the Yay community by generating peer-led content and by ensuring that the community is addressing the challenges and needs of one another. So the Yay Champions, Yay Network Champions, are really focused on answering questions from peers, creating connection, posting content, and also advocating for the community beyond the confines of the online platform. So why should you become a Yay Network Champion? Well, Yay Network Champions are going to be crucial in building this community and in generating local solutions to local challenges. You're going to be key to contributing and building this community. And through being part of this initiative, you will also grow your own personal brand and persona on the community as someone who is generating knowledge and being a source of information for others within the network. So who can become a network champion? Young entrepreneurs, hub managers, mentors, and other ecosystems can all become Yay Network champions. It's very simple. There are a few responsibilities that you will have, but it's mostly about being a participatory member of this community and also building your own network and brand in doing so. So as a Yay Network champion, your role is to generate community-led content, such as reposting interesting articles that you've seen from across the web or maybe in other communities that you're a part of. As well, if you're a writer, you can also write your own content and share it with the youth and trade team for review, and then that will be published to the platform. You will also be in charge of responding to and creating synergies and networks between other community members to build a stronger, more integrated community. And of course, you will be alongside Yay advisors promoting the Yay community offline and trying to get more people onto this platform and encouraging them to be participatory and active members in this community like you all are for being here today. So as mentioned, the benefits are to grow your personal brand and your network, to also position yourself as a reputable source of data. And I can't see the last one because my computer is blocking it. Position yourself as a driver of change locally and globally through being a Yay Network champion. And just going to the final slide, if you're interested in becoming a Yay Network champion, you can fill in a short, I think it's 6-question form that just stresses why you want to take up this role. The link is here, but I'll also post the link in the chat. So you can directly go ahead and fill in that form if you are interested. Basically, it's about bringing your knowledge as a young entrepreneur and putting that into the platform. Jenny and I can only produce so much content. We cannot be everywhere. We cannot know the specifics of your unique business environment. So by bringing your knowledge to the platform as a Yay Network champion, you will really be showcasing your own knowledge and you'll be helping us to make this community work better for us all. So I'm going to stop there and I'm going to post the link in the chat. And with that, I believe that we have come to the end of this exciting New Year's party. So I would love to have this amazing photo with you guys and also to share this link. So there, if you're interested in becoming a Yay Network champion, you can just complete that very brief form. And with that, let's take a photo. And I'd love to ask you guys for one, happy photo and then one goofy photo, because this is a party and we want to celebrate you all. Precious, it is really raining hard in Malawi. We can really hear the rain there. That is incredible. Okay, great. So please, if you guys can all turn on your cameras. I know for some people it's difficult. The bandwidth maybe isn't great. Totally understand if you cannot. But give you just another minute to turn on your cameras. All right, I see them coming on. Great, great, great. And once again, thank you to everyone who spoke today. It's really so incredible hearing from you guys and hearing what you've been able to do. Once again, as mentioned at the beginning, Jenny and I really do this all for you guys. And it's so cool hearing that you guys are just out there kicking, part of my language, kicking ass and taking names. So we love to hear it and to see it. Cool. So let's take this photo. I think everyone who is going to put their camera on has it on. So let's go for this. Okay, so this is the serious photo. So on 3, 1, 2, 3. Great. Okay. Hopefully my computer doesn't crash. And now for the funny photo. So we are young people here. We all are happy and goofy. So on 3, do your best, silly photo. Yes, I love it, Eliud. That's great. So on 3, 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Okay, cool. Awesome. Love it. Great. So we'll share those pictures with you guys via email after this call. Thanks everyone who was able to join. And with that, wishing you all a super restful holiday season, take some time, get some time off, step away from the computer, step away from the social media, and see you back here in 2022 for an even bigger and better Yay community. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thanks so much.
Bye,
Thanks,
Claire.
everyone.
Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Bye. See you. It's been nice.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.